Hello, welcome back to Let the Stones Speak. I'm Brent Nagtegaal, the host of the program. We're here in Jerusalem, Israel at the Ophel Excavations. They've just started over a week ago here, and we are going for today's program to tour the site with Professor Uzi Leibner and Dr. Orit Peleg Barkat. They're the directors of the excavations here. These excavations are conducted on behalf of Hebrew University of Jerusalem, as well as the Armstrong Institute of Biblical Archaeology in collaboration with the Antiquities Authority and also the National Parks Authority and the East Jerusalem Development Company. Today's program is an exciting one. Each of the directors is going to tell you each of the different parts of the excavation season, and then when we're finished with the dig, we'll do a follow-up video telling you whether what we thought we were going to find was actually found or not. And fill you in on the process in about 4 more weeks. Make sure you follow the excavation blog. We've got videos that go up every so often and some pictures of work being done at the site. You can see that at armstronginstitute.org, and we have a banner across the top of the page where you can click on that and you'll get more of the daily updates of things taking place on the excavation. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video to make sure you don't miss any of our content. Thanks very much for listening, and here we go with the tour. So this is season 2025 at the Ophel Excavations, continuing on from the last few years of excavations here. But what we're doing here is part of a much larger picture. If you could explain that for us.
Yeah, so the Hebrew University has been excavating the Ophel area since 1968, right after the Six-Day War. A huge project held by Benjamin Mazal, Professor Benjamin Mazal, who was also the president of the Hebrew University. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to publish everything or almost anything. He was pretty old, and his granddaughter, Eilat Mazal, stepped in and started working on publication, and she continued the excavations in the Ophel. Unfortunately, she passed away a few years ago, and Orit and I stepped in, and we took responsibility on 2 major parts, which together produce this big project. One is working on analyzing and publishing the huge excavation of Benjamin Mazal, whatever concerns the Second Temple period layer. It's a huge excavation, about 30 dunam, one of the largest, if not the largest excavation ever carried out in Israel. And we have lots of finds to go through, huge areas to go through. Alongside with that, we're continuing the excavation in this specific area in the eastern part of the Ophel, where Eilat started about a decade ago. And we're concentrating here currently on 3 areas, but it all actually started exactly where we're standing. What she discovered about a decade ago is that behind or beneath this Byzantine dwelling, which is behind us, which was blocked here with the front wall, which was crossing right where you're standing, all the way up to there. She discovered behind it a monumental building of the Second Temple period. You can see here the facade, made of ashlars with a nice ashlar porch in the front, and fronted by this large 4-sided pool. Unfortunately, she passed away, and she didn't have a chance to excavate inside to continue the excavation and reveal the entire building, and that's what we took upon ourselves. That's where we started. So one of the major goals of the dig itself this season is eventually to take down the Byzantine building, which we're working on already for, this is the 4th year, right, to lower the Byzantine building, document it very carefully. It's by itself very interesting. It has a few phases. But eventually to get down into the Second Temple period layer and understand what is this monumental building. A few words about the geographical context. We're standing about 50 meters from the Triple Gate, or the Eastern Hulda Gate, which was a major gate into the temple compound in the late Second Temple period. And actually the staircase that climbs up to that gate starts right behind this building. So clearly this building, so close to the temple gate, to a major temple gate, was of significant importance. We just don't know exactly yet what it was used for, because all these high walls you see behind us are Byzantine walls going down into the building from the Second Temple period. And we're planning this season, hopefully, to take them all down, reach into the building of the Second Temple period, and understanding what it functioned as. The room behind me, at least in its last stage, appears to be a ritual bath. We see the stairs going in. We don't see yet the basin itself, but it seems fairly clearly plastered stairs going down that this was a ritual bath. So perhaps the entire monumental structure was connected to purity before going up to the temple. But that's what we're trying to figure out. We decided to concentrate here, first of all, because of this amazing discovery of this building, but our research questions revolve around the archaeology of pilgrimage. How, or what can archaeology tell us? What can archaeology tell us about pilgrimage in the Second Temple period? So we're trying to understand what people did here, what was practiced here, what ceremonies, and how this area was designed.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to go and look at the three main areas. Two are continuing from last season and opening up a new one. And then hopefully you can explain a bit more about this new area that's opened up this season.
Okay, so one of the main goals for this season is to finally study this pool that I'm standing in. You can see it's a very large pool with, of course, plastered, and with a staircase going down from all four sides. This pool was discovered apparently after Mazar has completed his excavation during renovation, restoration, preservation works that were conducted here in the late 1970s. And unfortunately, it was not documented. When it was found, immediately some concrete was laid on top of the original plaster, and staircases were added in the upper portion of the pool. And we didn't have any photograph or any drawing or any notes concerning how exactly the pool was found, what material was associated with it. Luckily, a friend of Filat Mazar has managed to find this year of a German tourist to Jerusalem coming here in the late 70s, and he took a picture before the pool was restored, so we could see that the upper part, the upper stairs, not on the western side facing the monumental building, but on the other sides, there were not originally any stairs. So we are now trying to understand, to slowly dismantle the new concrete and the new restoration, to understand exactly how the pool was found originally, if indeed there were so many steps surrounding it. The problem is that we don't know how it was accessed before, because looking that side, we can see that the Byzantine structures are actually below the level of the pool. So we might think that it wasn't as high as we can see today. So this is a new area, area P for pool, that we have opened here. And we also want to understand more of the construction techniques, if there were various phases for the construction of this pool. And this is certainly one of the new goals for this season.
So, Professor Leibner, we're here in area D1. What are we finding? What are the goals for this season?
Okay, so area D1 is an area that started beneath the monumental structure with an underground system of water channel drainages. Very interesting. Once it came out to light, north of the large pool, we discovered that in the lower layer beneath the pool hides an earlier phase of public area of the Second Temple period. So what was discovered is that the drainage coming out from behind you and from within the pool actually cuts through a large early mikveh, ritual bath, which you're standing on right now. And you can see the stairs reaching up to here, right behind me.
Right.
It's a huge ritual bath, which was clearly canceled when they cut through it, the large channel behind you.
So you're standing on fill
fill.
earth, right? It's inside the ancient.
Exactly. They fill it up, they plastered the side, and they produced a drainage to drain out the pool there.
Right.
In our research goals of the archaeology of pilgrimage, so the early stage is of crucial importance because we're trying to understand when this whole area became a public area. When did infrastructure meant to serve the myriads of pilgrims started to be built around the entrances to the temple? And here we have obviously an early structure. We do not have yet a clear date.
So by the early stage of pilgrimage, you're meaning everything before the end of the Second Temple period, kind of.
Exactly. So since mikvaot, or ritual baths, appeared, the earliest ones we have are Hasmonean, let's say late 2nd century BCE.
Okay.
So that's the earliest we can get, apparently. It will be very important, very interesting to date this structure. Surprisingly, while excavating here, we discovered another water installation behind it, a small one, which we thought was some sort of a reservoir. But as we continued in, we discovered another staircase climbing in, much narrower.
Right.
And obviously this is another ritual bath.
So if you see these stairs, it denotes it's a ritual bath.
Not always, but in Jerusalem and especially near the temple and plastered, obviously for water. Once we get down, we can see if there's immersion basin, and that will give the conclusive answer. But already we can see it going down in there. It was canceled apparently at the end of the Second Temple period, and we found it stacked. It became a dump with hundreds of vessels, pottery vessels, stone vessels, bones from meals, metal objects, coins. It's a real treasure in there. So that was an interesting surprise. We're still not sure the relation between them. It seems perhaps this was a later after they canceled this one, they decided to build another one, probably another smaller one, just so they can continue here the ritual bathing. But we're not sure yet. We don't have a clear date for that. In any case, all this predates the large four-sided pool and the monumental building, and again, it's very important for our dating issues.
Yeah.
Last point here I want to point out, you can see the plaster on the side of the ritual bath going along the stairs, and you can see there it climbs on that seam in the wall. So the preservation here of the entrance to this large mikveh is amazing.
So everything from this portion here all the way to here is
apparently the original entrance, and we hope to excavate it this season.
So Orit, we are here in area D, excavating here since 2022 and even before with Dr. Eilat Mazar. But already this season, there's a lot of changes that are being made. What can you tell us about this building that we're in?
Okay, so indeed, Area D is our main area. The Byzantine building was already excavated by Benjamin Mazar in the 1970s. But Benjamin Mazar stopped when he reached the later phase floors. So when we arrived here, or when Eilat arrived here, There was a dwelling, a very nice large dwelling, part of a large Byzantine period dwelling in this area. So in the Byzantine period, namely in the 4th to 7th centuries CE, it was not as like a central part of the ancient Jerusalem as it was in the Iron Age or the Second Temple period. So there was a dwelling neighborhood with lots of nice buildings around courtyards. And once well, it was already a lot, we started excavating parts of this structure, but we continued her work here, realizing that this building had several phases. So the earliest phase is from the 4th and 5th centuries CE, with a large courtyard. Then
so people can't see that anymore.
Yeah, so over the last few seasons, we actually went from the 6th century and down to the 5th century and then to the 4th century. So we don't see the floors anymore. We can only see parts of the walls that surround us.
So these walls here are still remaining
from the Byzantine structure.
Okay.
But as Uzi explained, we are interested in the early Roman structure that is part of the complex containing the large pool.
Yeah.
And we're standing on a very large wall that starts from that point and continues to the end of the excavation area, and we might see also continuation outside. It's in terms of its orientation and location, it fits as the western closing wall of the ashlar structure or monumental structure from the early Roman period, but its construction technique is very different. It is not built of ashlars, and as you can see very clearly, it is built of enormous boulders.
Right.
And we know from from this environment in this area where a lot has been excavating, that this is typical for the Iron Age structures in this part of the city. So, and there's a lot of Iron Age pottery coming, but we still cannot prove it, but we're quite confident that this is actually an Iron Age wall that was preserved so nicely until the early Roman period that they just reused it. Instead of dismantling it, it's a lot of work with these big stones, so they just used it, and it served as the closing structure for this building.
So you mean like you have down there to my left, you have the pool,
Yeah.
and then you have the large ashlar stones that...
Yeah, you have a nice facade with the ashlar stones and 2 openings, and there was probably a 3rd opening which has not been preserved.
And then this is the back wall.
Exactly. So this is the back wall. So you would go down, and probably, I mean, you can see, if you can look on over there, you can see the southern closing wall with the start of a vault going over this side. So this vault covered one of the 3 chambers or rooms in that building. So we need to remember that topographically we're on a slope going that direction. So we might have rooms that are early Roman here and continuing the early Roman structure on that side, lower down the hill.
So for the first couple of seasons, or the first season when we were excavating here, we had nothing on this orientation. And then last season, this big wall started to appear, which gives us the sense that we're heading into the...
So yeah, this is actually very helpful because once the Temple Mount was expanded southwards, most of the building in this, like the later building, later than the 1st century CE, all the new structures that were built in this period were mostly aligned with the southern wall, namely going east-west or north-south. And when we find structures that have a different orientation, that they are diagonal to that orientation, going together with the topography that slopes to the southeast, then normally we can say that they predate the expansion of the Temple Mount.
Great. We'll see what happens throughout the season. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That concludes our tour of the Ophel excavations, at least the preview of what we're doing here on site here in Jerusalem. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed the content, and we'll talk to you next time.